Games, Brrraaains A Head-Banging Life with another episode of the Nasties. We're looking at the 1980 alien horror Contamination. Released uncut in 2004, check this out, with a 15 rating. Yes, this is now a 15. From a video nasty to a 15.
That's crazy.
Which does make a lot of sense when you watch it. It wasn't prosecuted though. This is one of the nasties of the list that didn't get prosecuted. Basically, the graphic depictions of human bodies exploding violently in slow motion, as well as the grisly remains of such explosions, are what fell foul. The problem is like why it's only a 15 now. If you see those scenes, they're graphic because of how they're done, but they're so clearly fake.
Blood packs and
clearly,
meat or whatever.
almost everybody that has their chest explode suddenly goes from this to this.
Yeah.
Where they're clearly wearing some massive mechanism,
Yeah.
something underneath that's designed to do it. It's really obvious.
Yeah.
So that to me is why it's been lowered.
Yeah.
Because that's so fake looking.
Yeah.
No one in a right mind could believe that was real.
And it seems like there's no other elements that normally gets things banned apart from that in this film. There's no sex. There's no kind of like...
None of that in this. There's no nudity, no sex, nothing. This is a 15 that makes sense.
Yeah.
It was also released in the video in the United States under the title of Alien Contamination and Toxic Spawn.
I like that name better.
Which are heavily edited, but it is now available in the US on DVD, unedited. Very easy film to get hold of. Wouldn't necessarily one of the more famous, but it's one I knew of beforehand because I'd seen it before and reviewed it for the site. So this was my second viewing of Contamination, and it didn't get any better.
No.
I gave it 4 out of 10 when I reviewed it on the site. And I think that sticks. I think that sticks. The biggest flaw with this film is that it is boring. It is talky. For some reason, they really wanted to delve into the science and almost, what's the word they use? Like spy nature, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
terrorist
sort of
nature.
intrigue and that kind of... It felt like two different kind of stories, really, almost.
You could almost argue it's not a horror movie.
Yeah.
Remove the exploding bodies. Where is the horror?
Yeah.
Oh, and maybe the alien creature at the end. But that's, you kind of, that thing. So, cast-wise, this stars Louise Marlua as Colonel Stella Holmes. She is our main star. Alongside her co-stars are Marino Massey as Lieutenant Tony Aris, one of the best things in the movie.
Yeah.
And Ian McCulloch, yes, our video nasty king, is back in another movie, and he plays Ian Hubbard, Commander Ian Hubbard. Siegfried Roch as Hamilton, and I guess the other one really worth mentioning as well is Gisela Hahn as Paola de la Cruz.
Ah, yes, the girlfriend.
They're really the main cast. There are some extra people here and there, but this is the main three are Marino Mazzei, Louise Marella, and Ian McCulloch. So, if you've seen Zombie Flesh Eaters, this movie sure does start very similar, with a ship drifting into the New York harbour, seemingly abandoned.
It's filmed on the same day.
Biggest difference is whereas Zombie Flesh Eaters was a kind of just sailboat, this is a cargo ship.
Yeah.
A cargo ship. We get lots of shots of the New York skyline here. It's quite nicely shot. Very early in the morning, so there's not much traffic and stuff like that. But this ship, we get a lot of shots from a helicopter being studied. Where's the ship and so on. It's obviously stopped. And then a group go in to investigate. For some reason, they automatically presume it was contaminated or something. I don't know if it's like a standard thing.
It might be if there's no crew. Maybe they have to kind of look into the fact that people might be sick below decks or something.
Possibly, but basically a group go in almost, this really bugged me, hazard suits. Now, this really bothers me because they've got gas masks on around the mouth, full-on white things, and but they've got no goggles on, so their eyes are completely exposed, and their sleeves are open, loose, hanging. The back's open. Is like,
we would bother.
Why even bother? Exactly. Why even bother? So we get a. It's a good opening. It's a good opening. This is a good opening.
That's why I was like, oh, this is going to be good.
A lot of tension as they're like, there's no one on the ship. They find a captain's log for the day before. No problem was reported.
Yeah, so it's quick.
It was very, very quick whatever happened. They find the crew quarters, the place they then decide to look, and find that half-eaten meal. Very Marie Celeste, as if the ship was abandoned suddenly during meals, which is cool. We then get our first kind of sign of the gore as they open up a door, the captain falls out, and his chest is a mess. Yeah. Just a bloody, gross mess. That leads them down to the cargo hold where they find lots and lots and lots of coffee boxes, but notice that it's strange that there's been an X added to each box.
Yeah.
They then find one of them has been opened and appears to be green eggs in them that look like olives, big olives in some cases. Also like the critters' eggs, if you've seen critters, but bigger version of them. But one of them that's sitting by a pipe, a hot pipe, is vibrating and illuminating and giving off this sound, this sound. Yeah. You know?
It's odd noise.
It's very, very odd. It's kind of cool. It's a cool start. This is where they also find, did they find a crew? No, they don't find a crew. The crew are missing.
They find a couple, didn't they, on the ship?
There's a few bodies down there that also have kind of the bloody remains of the mess and stuff like that. But the real part of this is that this egg erupts. It erupts and spits this fluid across the people.
Yeah.
And it seems like if it touches your skin, which is why you shouldn't wear fucking face masks, your body will automatically explode outwards from your chest. Yeah. Very strange. But yeah, basically, these scientists, a group of scientists who go from, like I said,
slim,
and then suddenly this massive bulky chest have their slow motion chest explode. It looks fucking cool. It does, for all its stupidity, it looks cool. I like it. It's what I remember about this film because it is done in slow motion. So which adds an extra touch to it. So we get a load of scientists all with their bodies exploding. And it turns out whatever this toxic liquid is, it is very dangerous to us. It's an odd thing. If you think as a plot point, it is an odd thing.
But I enjoyed it. I say it was kind of like a high point of the film for me.
Because then we get a lot of talking. So we then cut to the Pentagon. This one made me laugh so much. So a lot of the scenes are filmed in the Pentagon, apparently. And it seems like they were like, well, how can we make it look like the Pentagon? Let's just make all the doors and everything Pentagon shaped.
Yeah, oh God.
You said it looked like Dr. Evil's lair.
Yeah, it reminded me of that.
Black doors as well that. It's pretty fucking dumb. But it's here we meet Stella Holmes, Colonel Stella Holmes, Louise Marlowe. She's a good actress in this.
Yeah, she's good.
She holds her own, particularly when she's playing off two men. And at the time of this film, particularly Ian McCulloch, who was a bit of a star as well.
Yeah.
But she does well. She's strong.
Yeah.
They make a point earlier on of trying to sort of drop in the whole living in a man's world kind of thing. And but I think they kind of abandoned that later on in the movie, which is a bit of a shame. But we get a fucking lot of studying of this eggs.
Yeah,
a lot of talking about and so on. It is really, it could be interesting if the movie made up for elsewhere.
Yeah. They use too much technical words.
Yeah.
Technical words. They can say, "Oh look, this organism isn't from Earth," but rather than sum up, there's like 5 minutes of, "Oh, this is." It's like you could say, "Oh, this element, this liquid, this egg isn't from Earth," and then go from there. But they go too far into detail.
They then test it on a rat.
Yeah.
We get exploding rat, which is just clearly a puppet rat.
Yeah.
They cut away from the needle going in the rat, which is clear. And then, like I said, you get a puppet rat exploding. We then get probably one of my favourite scenes in the movie, which is between Stella and Tony Aris, lieutenant, who was one of the police officers guarding the boat. So to check him over, they pulled him in, stripped him down, put him in an interrogation room, and he has a conversation between what's called Stella, between the glass. They have chemistry.
Yeah.
He's funny. He's quite outlandish, kind of like, believes in himself strongly, but is also a bit of a coward kind of character.
Yeah.
This is quite funny. They do a great thing as well where they stop the intercom and he carries on talking. Their chemistry works. He is a highlight. He's very likable as a character.
Because I think he's kind of like the kind of the more like playful character that bounces off the two more serious ones.
Indeed.
He's kind of like, he's got like a lot of demons and he's not really happy, and he kind of comes in with a bit more energy.
He does have a bit of energy as well, and he's a fish out of water. He's just accidentally got drawn into this.
Yeah.
Be honest, he probably should have just been sent home after all of this. How he gets disinvolved, there you go. But then it turns out, well, Stella might have a thing for him. That's why.
Yeah.
So basically, that's where we then kind of introduce to them as a pairing. He's obviously let out of quarantine and so on. And then randomly, we hear about where these things might come. And they start talking about a Mars mission. And apparently, astronauts went to Mars, landed on Mars, came back as well. But one of them... So the astronauts were Hamilton, who was played by Siegfried Rach later on in the movie, and Ian Hubbard, which is Ian McCulloch. They went to Mars, found a cave, and in that cave they found these eggs, these same eggs that are now on Earth. What's called, apparently this all bright light, Hamilton got entranced by it, and then when they came back to Earth, no one believed their story. Hubbard was dishonorably discharged, seen as a crazy, and one of the people that was on the board that kind of discharged him was Stella. So now thinking he might have been telling the truth, she goes to find him. She finds him. He's a bit of a drunk now, very bitter, doesn't like her, that kind of thing. And basically he's a washed up bum. So they bring him back to the Pentagon, and we then follow up with probably one of the worst scenes in the movie. I hate this. I hate what it signifies. Simply that. So basically, he doesn't want to be part of this team to go investigate where. Basically, the link is the coffee company, which is from Colombia. So we're going to go investigate. But they've been given 3 days to do it by the military before the military just take over full stop. If they can find the link and stop it beforehand. We should say in between this, before they find Hubbard, I've jumped over a bit, going to go back. We get a little bit more detail as they find where the dock was supposed to be offloading its cargo and go to raid it at night. Stella, Tony, they're basically leading this along with a few others. Agent Young as well, played by Carlo Di Menjo, who has a fair few lines in it actually. They go there, they confront the people, one cop gets shot, and it ends in it looks like it's going to end in a shootout, but the guys inside decide to commit suicide by shooting one of the eggs and then having their bodies explode outwards. They find this warehouse is filled with eggs and basically decide to set fire to them, destroy them completely. But figuring that there's probably more of them out there, that's where they link in their coffee company. So back to the Pentagon. Stella, pissed off that Hubbard is no interest in being part of this, decides to taunt him into being a man. Where's the man in you? That kind of thing. And he slaps her across the face. And that, basically, she starts smiling and he smiles and he's like, I found my man in this. Fair enough. You want a man? I'll be a man. And she's like, that's the man I was looking for. And it's like, fuck off, man. There are other ways you could have done that without involving having to slap her across the face and be like, now you're a man because you stood up to me. Fuck off.
Especially obviously like you built up the fact that she's kind of like, she's trying to work hard to kind of be a woman in this kind of like manly man's world. But, it's crap. It's crap.
It's dumb. It's dumb and makes all of them unlikable. Instantly unlikable, which is not great. So we get a long, protracted into Colombia, a lot of tourism shots, parades, like as if they're one of our island video nasties, where part of the deal was, look, you've got to make it look pretty. We get that with Colombia. It's fine. It's fine.
It's weird because they show some like really shithole parts of
Colombia. They do balance it right. We get some really lovely looking parts, and then
the tourist part, nice hotel, lovely, and then you get some like dingy areas. When they're driving around, which I guess is the truth, really, isn't it? We then get the reveal. For some reason, we get a very early reveal that Hamilton, who is supposed to have died 6 months ago, who denied ever seeing the eggs on the planet, is still alive. And he's running the coffee company with his partner, which is Gisela Han, who her character is Perella de la Cruz. We never know their relationship. If they're a couple, husband and wife, partners, we don't know it. But so we find out he's still alive, and he's the one producing these eggs on this coffee plantation, kind of thing. And it's a bit like, could have left that as a reveal later on, but nope, that's just shown to us separately. While the other three are kind of checking out Colombia, basically. They're constantly being watched by secret people, basically. You kind of get these shots where someone's staring at them and stuff like that. Which obviously gets back to Hamilton and his gang at the coffee place. They all go to the hotel rooms. We get a bit of banter, bit of bants between the gang. Tony wants to try it on with Stella. Hubbard is constantly saying, "Nay, bruv, leave it. Leave it alone."
They take the piss out of her a lot. They've got good chemistry as well. And I don't mind the piss takes here. The piss take is that she's an ice queen. But it kind of works because when they're together as a trio, they do. And she does come across cold, hard, and so on. It's not done, I don't think it's done in an overtly sexist way.
No, it's just done, it's dragged out.
It's dragged out.
It's dragged out. So like, they're all going to meet for dinner. Was it the plan is, freshen up, go for dinner. And again, even that I don't need to know. Like, I get the idea, okay, you need to get settled. But just get there quick. Get to the point quicker.
Yeah.
Because the point, they all kind of get ready for dinner. She's separately getting ready for dinner, and she comes out of the shower, and there's one of the eggs been planted by one of the spies from the company in their bathroom.
Yep.
So then the person that plants the egg puts a do not disturb sign on the door. So the other two cops, they walk past the door and go, oh, okay, she's not going to meet us for dinner. Walk away. But even that's drawn out. They could have just walked past the door and gone, do you know what? She was going to come for dinner. Let's knock again. Let's just knock again to make sure she doesn't want any food. But it's not. It's done for another 3 minutes of them walking away and things like that. It's kind of like some sort of like tense moment. It's like, well, no, you could have got there quicker.
Yeah.
Everything seems too drawn out.
It is really, it's dragged out. That's the biggest problem, is what could have been succinctly told in a minute to two takes triple the time.
Yeah.
This is really, really noticeable inside the bathroom as we constantly clip back to the bathroom where Stella's panicking and trying to pick the lock. I got very annoyed here by the fact that they then turned this woman into an idiot, a blubbering idiot. Yes, she's scared, but she, up to this point, had a very rational mind. And I'm saying, like, right, look, you can't get out. Cover it with take the shower curtain off.
Yeah.
Cover it.
Yeah.
That will at least potentially, or cover yourself with the shower curtain.
Yeah.
Wrap it around you so if it explodes, it's not going to touch your skin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but she's like picking the lock next to the fucking egg.
Yeah.
Drove me nuts. And then crying and screaming.
Yeah. Eventually,
Hubbard hears her while going back to the door. Oh no, she did say she wanted to wake us up. Let's go back to the door. That kind of thing. He hears her screaming. They bust in and save her. And that's that scene done.
Yeah.
Woo! That's that scene done. This is where we then see Hamilton has a link to the egg somehow. As he realises that the egg failed, it explodes, and it didn't kill her. He gets very upset and angry about it, sends out his partner, Perella de la Cruz, and that's, I suppose, to drop in a hint for what will come at the end.
Yeah.
So the plan then is this. Stella and Tony are going to go and pose as interested buyers of massive amounts of coffee to the coffee thing. Cool, that's perfectly smart, that's clever. While Hubbard is going to take a small plane and fly over the plantation to get a look from the airborne. All perfectly fine. That's cool, that's what happens basically. But it doesn't last long. Stella and Tony get shown around a bit. It's cool sort of showcase of a coffee plant, if that's your interest, you know. They meet Perella, who shows them more things, and then they get guns pointed at them because obviously they're known who they are. Hamilton reveals himself to them, Stella obviously knowing who he is. And he says to them, oh yeah, you're not going to be able to talk. But then decides to keep them alive. For whatever reason, decides to tie them up and put them in a basement. At the time, I was annoyed by it. Now I know he keeps them alive because he's going to feed them to his god, basically. Meanwhile, Hubbard's plane has been sabotaged. And he lands, he gets knocked out in the kind of crash landing. Wakes up, finds himself on a plantation, wanders about and discovers the eggs. The eggs are just being grown or cultivated on the plantation, which is cool. He hides as a load of, covered soldiers arrive, workers basically, who are harvesting the eggs, putting them in boxes. They all go to leave. One decides to dilly-dally, who just happens to be the right size outfit for Hubbard. Hubbard attacks him, takes a suit and joins the crew going back to the coffee company. Again, perfectly good. Espionage, that's the word I was looking for at the start. Espionage style movie.
No death, no gore.
So he's like, he's basically, because he's completely covered head to toe, no one knows who he is. He's walking around, he's getting to know the area, playing part as the team. Meanwhile, Stella and Tony have an awkward kiss, an awkward moment. We didn't need it. They had chemistry, but not sexual chemistry. So it's a mistake to have this scene. They're then taken by Hamilton down to the basement, apparently, where he reveals the egg layer, the queen, as it were, or king, however you want, which is this awful. It's a good practical effect, but it just looks shit. It's a Cyclops alien with a massive brain head, one singular eye that lights up, tentacles and several mouths. It's a good practical effect for but it doesn't. It's not a great design.
No.
That's the problem. If you look at this eye and you're weak-minded, effectively, it will entrance you, which is what it does to Tony. It's very long, this scene again. Unfortunately, it's very, very long as Tony slowly walks his way. I do love the lighting in this. So it's got this floor grate that has this light pouring up from it. It looks great. And the actors as well, when they're being mentally forced to walk towards it, you can see Tony is fighting. He's got sweat pouring down his face.
He doesn't want to Yeah.
It's one of the better done scenes. Had we not been dragging our heels so much, shit like this would be good.
Yeah. Show us more of the aliens. Show us more of this stuff going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it basically forces Tony to walk all the way up close to it, then wraps the tentacle around him, squeezes him until he dies, basically, crushes his insides, and then sucks him up with a tentacle.
Yeah.
There's a funny cut where it's clearly no longer Tony, but a model that gets sucked up like a Hoover.
Yeah.
It's a good scene, though. It's violent. It's sad because it's a character you like.
Yeah.
You know, I could have happily probably got rid of Stella over him.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, or Hubbard.
Yeah.
You know, why Hubbard survives this and not Tony?
Yeah.
Considering,
he was pulled into it, really, weren't he? So. Absolutely.
And all through this, Hamilton is constantly entranced by, you know, what he's seeing from his alien god. Obviously designed, he wants to please it. They've dropped hints before that Hamilton isn't really Hamilton anymore, that he's just an extension of this creature, a human extension, which comes into play at the end. At this point, Hubbard has now got hold of Dela Cruz, Perella, and he's holding her hostage. He's like, you're going to lead me down here. To get there, they have to go through a room where the eggs are being... I don't know what they're doing in this. They just got them in glass.
Yeah, just, again, why not have...
There's no real... Yeah, there's nothing really there. But she shouts... It ends in a shootout, basically, where everyone misses him and he manages to hit everybody.
Yeah.
We then head down head to the area. Basically, Stella at this point is being entranced by the creature, slowly walking towards it, and so on. And Hubbard arrives. He fights with Hamilton, obviously, being old astronaut buddies. They fight. He manages to overpower Hamilton, knock him out briefly, and shoots the Cyclops creature with a flare gun that he took from the plane in its eye, which destroys it or kills it or hurts it. It goes mental, starts going up in flames, which in turn kills Hamilton.
Yeah,
he's linked to it. His chest. He's the last chest exploding part of it.
Yeah.
We should say Hamilton had already shot Dela Cruz as well. So she's dead, and basically Hubbard and Stella escape as the thing explodes. The Colombian army and police force arrive now for whatever reason, take everyone prisoner, and that's really it, isn't it? Yeah. That's the ending. You fell asleep.
I did.
Right at the end.
I did. It was just... It's just... Oh, I want to see more of the aliens. There's a film called Contamination. You start with all these eggs and this chest explosion. And we just get drawn out scenes. Oh, no, I just found it really dull. So...
There's a couple of interesting facts about it. This was inspired by Alien. You only have to see it to know that.
Yep.
I wouldn't call it a rip-off, but it is lazy. Very, very lazy. You want to make something similar, but they had budgetary constraints, so it is, of course, set on Earth. Retaining the others alien eggs and a large creature at the end.
Yeah.
Ooh. Let's call it... Whoa. Yeah, lots of name changes as well. The producer insisted that Cozy, the director, develop more James Bond-style elements over science fiction, which is a major problem with it, of course.
It's two elements you've got to do well for them to be good. Like, if you're doing a spy film, you have to work on how you're going to do the spy part of it. So, like, how are we going to get people to kind of, like, be poisoned? Who's going to be our spies? Who's going to be our undercover moles? If you're doing science fiction is complex and it's got loads of different things you've got to explain for it to make sense. You can't have two together.
The synopsis, a brief synopsis movie is 10 times better than the actual end product. A brief synopsis is alien eggs that when they explode juice on you, your body explodes outwards.
Yeah.
That, you know, and a group of people try and stop it.
Yeah.
That's cool. That sounds like fun. It's not fun. That's its biggest flaw.
Yeah, it's not fun.
It takes itself so seriously.
Yeah. It starts really, like I say, like the chest explosion starts really well, but it just gets bogged down by, like, they feel like they have to explain stuff, overly explain stuff. It's just, did not enjoy it. This
is my second viewing. I gave it 4 out of 10 when I first reviewed it. I think that's fair for the good stuff that it had in it, because it has got good stuff. It's just overall that story is incredibly lacking. And the fact that it's a 15 now tells you enough about it as a video nasty to say this is nothing to get excited about. You're not seeing anything you've not seen before. No. Yes, the body exploding parts are graphic, but they're not real. Yeah. They're not realistic. Yeah. That's why it's a 15. That's why it has very little impact, because it's not realistic. The blood is overly obviously fake. Yeah. The clear devices they have underneath their outfits to do these exploding bodies is so fucking obvious, it's near embarrassing, you know? of how whatever contraptions they were using for that.
And so it's badly dubbed at parts.
Yeah, there's some bad dubbing.
And some good acting is not going to kind of make up for that. I was kind of like, compared to some of the other video nasties we watched, I'm kind of like longing for some of that over the top gore or sex or just yeah, it was bland.
Yep, you'll get nothing, no nudity in this. Even Stella's shower scene is literally shoulders up or ankle low, which is fine, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
But it's something you kind of associate with a nasty as well, and there's none of it here. This is not one that I would recommend at all. Yeah. Thank you very much for watching. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and Tumblr. Go to Patreon and help us out over there. That's patreon.com/GBHBL, as well as Big Cartel, where you can find some of our merchandise. We have a podcast running on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts. And of course, if you like this video, do us a favour, hit the subscribe button and help the channel grow. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?